Story 1. I am 29 years old male. I met my girlfriend Diana 27 while we were in college. She was the shy I don't socialize type during early periods of college, but over the years her mindset changed. Diana and I were close friends. I could rely on her for anything and vice versa. I ended up falling head over heels for her and it turned out she felt the same way too. It wasn't a competition, but I'd say we were the best couple in school. She really meant the world to me. After college, Diana and I moved in together to try to take our relationship to the next level. We've been together for 7 years and we weren't married, but it felt like we were. Of course, I knew I was going to propose someday and it was only a matter of time. But I was waiting for the perfect time because I wanted it to be the most memorable day of our lives. And just like that, an opportunity presented itself. Diana's elder brother was having his wedding in a few months and I felt that would be the perfect time to propose to her if his brother and wife to be okayed it. And they did, and were really happy about the surprise event. So a few days before the wedding we flew down to San Francisco where the wedding was to be held. Finally it was time. Everything was set, the ceremony was held and the reception began. As planned, I proposed to Diana. Amidst cheers from the crowd, it was such a joyful moment and Diana was crying and her family was emotional. Later on we were all having a blast and Diana had disappeared off to somewhere. When suddenly Diana's phone buzzed on the table in front of me. I peeked at it and it had a text from Amy saying, "I miss you." I felt that it was all good. Girls are always close like that. Then another text came and this one said, "I want my D in you so badly." It was like my world stopped in its orbits. I felt everything around me slow down and for a moment my world tilted. I was sweating buckets and I didn't know what to do. I took her phone and went into the bathroom. I went through every nook and cranny of the phone and was stunned. She was screwing another guy and it wasn't just any other guy, but it was her boss. Her boss who was twice her age and married with kids. They've been having a physical affair for a few months. There was also a lot of emotional stuff and I love yous exchanged every day. I was a wreck at this point and was pulling my hair and banging my head against the wall. I just effing proposed to this train wreck of a woman in front of all her family. What a freaking joke. I'm not proud of what I did next. I took screenshots of some of their most graphic chats where they reminisce the various sex acts they performed on each other, and uploaded them to her family group chat, work group chat, and even school and college group chats which were on WhatsApp. Then I dumped the phone, got into my car and left the reception without a word to anyone. I was broken emotionally and couldn't even think properly. I kept imagining all the things she could have done with the guy in bed. The more I thought about it, I felt like turning the car around and taking her life. 15 minutes later, her brother called asking where the frick I was and what the frick I did that. His wedding was in shambles because all his family and friends had seen the chats. His parents, aunts, and his very senior grandma were making such a fuss and screaming profanities at Diana, who had locked herself up in the bride's dressing room to escape them. Especially her mom, who had started beating her with her clutch. His bride was much stressed and her side of the family is trying to calm down the situation and prevent his mom and grandma from killing Diana. He was pissed at me and started cussing me out, to which I just hung up. I was completely drained. I drove back home. Crying Diana FaceTimed with me that night. Her eyes were swollen from crying, one side more than other, looking suspiciously like it had taken a beating. She explained what happened afterwards. Her sister-in-law side of the family peeled her mom away from the bride's room door and took her away so she could sneak out and get away with a friend of hers. It's where she's at now. She didn't try to deflect blame but owned up to her misdeed. She said she didn't know why she started an affair because her life was perfect as it was. She's now lost most of everything she had in life within a few hours. Her family hates her. Her sister-in-law is murderous. Her friends won't return her calls. She and her boss are both in hot water and will likely lose their job soon. She also said she understood why I did what I did and that she's a horrible human being who deserves all of this. I've since blocked her and her family on every platform. I've packed my stuff up and will soon be moving out. There's 2 more months of lease and I'll be paying it, though I won't live here. I don't know what'll happen to her, but I'm ready to move on. I've wasted enough of my time with this woman already. I'm sorry about everything, OP, but I'm also glad you found out about it when you did. It would have been a train wreck if you had actually gone through with the marriage before finding out. I understand why her brother got mad at you. You did ruin their nights and maybe even their wedding. But I also understand why you did that. Some part of you wanted revenge and the other part of you wanted her family to know why you'll be ending the engagement. Your ex deserved everything that happened to her that night because I'm certain she would have kept you in the dark and continued to cheat on you while you act like a dutiful fiancé who knows nothing. But at least she owned up to everything instead of trying to manipulate you or make you feel bad like most cheaters do. Move on with your life and say goodbye to this phase. I'm sure the next phase will be much better. Take care, OP. Story 2. I am 29 male, have been planning on proposing to my girlfriend who is 28 years old. It's been 6 years since we met in college and quickly hit it off, began dating and eventually decided we wanted to be together. Our life together has been amazing and I haven't had an issue. At least in my eyes, we've always been open and are always communicating with each other. She moved in with me 2 years ago since it's going wonderfully, and because I know I wanted to be with her, I decided it was time to propose. She's also been hinting about wanting to become engaged anytime. We pass by a jewelry store. She points out how beautiful the X-ring is. I always brushed it off because I didn't want her to know I was ready to. Around the time we moved in together, she got a promotion, but it meant her work hours would increase. I was fine with that since I work long days as well. She went on vacation with her friends one weekend and I felt it was appropriate to buy a ring. I found a ring that I knew she would love and spent a decent amount on it. I never thought I would be that person to drop 15 Kelvin on a ring. But she's worth it, or so I thought. She recently started working a lot more hours than usual, so she started getting hotel rooms close to her work. She would come home on a lunch break and pack an overnight bag followed along with. It's going to be one of those days. I never had a reason not to trust her. But looking at it now, this was a red flag. This has been going on for 4 or 5 months now. I started looking at time to make the big proposal. She's honestly a very luxurious person, so I felt it was appropriate to find somewhere very nice. I booked a dinner at a very well-rated restaurant and booked a private event on the beach of a hotel. I've told all of our family and friends that this is a surprise party to congratulate our engagement. Today I stayed home from work since I felt like I'm coming down with the flu. She left her laptop open and I kept hearing message notifications going off. It was starting to get annoying, so I went to turn off her computer. I know I should have snooped, but I'm glad I did. She left her Facebook messages open. She has several messages from older guys, a lot of flirty messages. There were plans with these men and nude photos. I read through some messages but couldn't read them all. I was sick to my stomach. These messages date back as far as 3 years ago. This was an entirely different Facebook too. This was an account for her to talk to these men. She's blocked me so I could never find this account. I went looking through her email too. I found emails from a sugar baby website, and I clicked on a link which brought me to her profile, which has been active and updated. Also, that girl's vacation was actually a getaway with her sugar daddy. After snooping for enough information, it turns out she quit her job around the time we moved in together and has been seeing 2 different men in particular, going back and forth between their houses. I feel like such an idiot. I wish I would have noticed the red flags when she started coming home with nice things. I assumed it was from her promotion. I don't understand why she feels the need to be paid by these men. She makes a decent income. We both do. I'm completely shocked and hurt. I don't know how to proceed or what's the right thing to do. I know I'm gonna break up with her, but how? How do I tell her? How do I get her out of my house? How do I tell our friends and family our surprise party is off? I just don't know. OP, you should definitely leave her. She betrayed your trust in one of the worst ways imaginable. Keep it simple, don't overthink it. Just tell her I want to break up, engagement is cancelled. Tell your friends and family you are calling off everything because she's cheating on you. They will understand you. If possible, keep the details of the infidelity to yourself for the time being. If the house is yours, just kick her out. If you're kind enough, just give her a day to find somewhere to move to. If she tries to be cute, you have to just remind yourself how deceitful she was and how much she's hurt you. You are going to have a wonderful life ahead of you. I'm so very sorry you've had to go through such a harsh experience. I hope your heart heals quickly and you're able to find the loving, committed, honest, and kind partner. This is just the beginning of a new adventure for you now. For some comments, your lady is a prostitute, not an uncommon profession, and nothing to be ashamed of. Good money in that business and very little work respectively if you're smart and attractive. But she lied to you. That's the problem here, and it's not a forgivable thing. Refund your ring. Try and get her to leave the home and work on yourself for a while. She's going to want you to forgive her for lying, and it'll be tempting, but you can't. This lie is just too big to get past. Gotta move on and rebuild. My ex used seekingarrangement.com behind my back for a whole year. We dated for 3 years while I'm still in university, much younger than you, and in my early 20s. It was still a horrible feeling ever. I'm happier that my ex revealed her true self so I could remove her from my life. Now I have a girlfriend who is hardworking, independent, and has a steady real job. I'm really sorry that this happened to you afterwards. It was extremely hard for me to trust women in the dating scene. With time that went away though, you definitely dodged a bullet. Glad you're making the right decision. Wow, tough pill to swallow. I would print all of the evidence, put it on the kitchen table along with her belongings, and wait for her to come home. Don't even say anything when she comes in. She will feel awfully shitty, and I think she would take the hint to just leave. As far as friends and family go, that's totally up to you to decide. I'd let them know ASAP that it's cancelled, but maybe wait a few days to give a reason as to why. Right now everything is fresh and I'm sure you're heartbroken, shocked, and angry. I would think about what you want to tell your friends and family. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Betrayal from an SO is horrible. All the lies and deceit, second thought. You should tell everyone why you're canceling the wedding. She's been doing this for a long time, concocting lies, such as promotion at work and longer hours so she can spend more time with her sugar daddies. Duck her.